right, welcome to D Hard Way. I am Donovan Sadiq. I'm going to lead off this hour. A lot of controversy going on out there in regards to black folks. And there's always something. Now, I just want to bring up something real quick before I get into my topic. How many times have I said, I'm going to post what I want to post on my page? How many times have I said that?
A lot.
I don't have a problem with people debating because you can get a debate on my page and I won't even comment.
Right.
Because that's the whole point of me putting it up, to have people talk about it and discuss it.
Right.
But one thing I will not have is you to tell me what I can put and what I can't put on my page. If you want positivity and want to fool yourself into thinking, oh, we're queens, everybody can't be a damn queen. Or we're going to be kings. Everybody can't be a king. How are you going to be a queen and you living in the hood?
Well, queen could be in a state of mind.
Okay, and that's fine. If you're going to be a queen, stop looking like a jester, painting your hair pink, purple, and blue.
Have my coffee.
Yes, have some coffee. So let's get back to that. And again, I've always said, I served the country. I went out there and put my life on the line. Even if I'm wrong, I'm not hurting anybody. My freedom of speech, I'm going to say that. That's the only problem that I have on my page. Now, this forum and this show, we want everybody's opinions and, let's discuss it, whatever the deal is.
Right.
But recently I sent you a video of a young little girl twerking in a nice little hoochie suit, whatever the deal is. We shouldn't be talking about that.
I mean, at some point in time, we got to stop sweeping stuff under the rug. We have to start dealing with the dirt that's under the rug. So
right, exactly, and everybody knows Dee is very pro-black and very, she's not a feminist, but she's, she stands up for what's right and how you do it. Now, I'm a black man, and the natural order of things is the man is the leader. So if I can't hold you accountable, my sister Dee, if I see you in the hoochie show, you don't think I'm going to call Al and say, hey, man.
You going to dime on me?
I'm going to dime on you. That's right. Hey, Al, your girl is out here,
She got it all.
Yes, the booty shorts.
All,
right.
Mean all.
But the thing is, if I can't correct you, who am I supposed to correct?
Well, I just think, that goes to the argument of who should hold me accountable. Should it be you or should it be me?
Right.
Because to your argument about posting what you want to post, I should be able to, I'm not saying you would like it.
Right.
I should be able to do what I want to do as well. But at the same time, and I don't want to hijack your narrative, as I'm just speaking as a black woman, you can't say you're looking for a good man and you're doing lackluster things. Because a man worth his weight is not going to deal with a woman who is doing lackluster things.
Thus, we'll talk about that in the second option in regards to Kanye and Kimye, whatever you want to call them. But I want to talk about something that I really can speak on. And for those of you guys that don't know, there was a tech sergeant at Nellis Air Force Base that made a comment, and the Air Force is investigating it. Now, a lot of people say, well, you don't know this and you don't know that. One thing I do know is the military. Mm-hmm. And in my experience, 24 years in the military, I can tell you this. For 24 years of my time in the military, they had conditioned me, and that's why it's called training.
Right.
Basic military training. We are going to train you to be a soldier or an airman or whatever it is. So for 24 years of my career, they told me homosexuality and military life is incompatible.
Right.
So then as the years go by and this social experiment cascades into the military, and things change, and I understand that. And they say it's okay to be gay in the military.
Right.
I knew it was my time to go. Because to me, it's unacceptable. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that it is not compatible. I do not want to be in a barracks where a guy is possibly going to sexually assault me.
Really?
I'm just saying possibly. Because, here's my thought on that. No, here's my thought on that. Okay, if we're having a homosexual guy and that's okay, why not let men and women take showers together?
See, forgive me.
Yes.
But that argument is so faulty. Okay. Because that's saying... because somebody is gay, and we're just going to use a man as an example, that means he's a predator. That's like people saying a gay man is more than likely to molest your child or your son. Well, statistically speaking, I said it right. That's not true. It shows that straight men offend against children way more than gay men do.
Right, but see, we're talking about military. for the inception of the military, homosexuality was not compatible. So I was trained to believe that.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm not making an excuse. I'm saying I was brainwashed to believe that.
Right.
But I was smart enough to know, you know what? Times are changing. Maybe it's time for me to go. And when my time came, I left.
Right.
Simple, no harm, no foul, whatever. So now we have a tech sergeant who was in a group forum, and she was asking, why is it that every time she deals, just about every time, she deals with her black subordinates, they have an attitude.
Right.
Now, when I saw the video, and matter of fact, let's just stop that. Let's chase and go to the video. Now, in that video, to me, it was like a question. She was like, why is it they have an attitude? Why?
Yeah, she was saying, help me out. What do I need to do? What am I doing wrong?
What am I doing wrong? Why do they keep, treating me as if I'm a dumbass and I'm a higher NCO?
Right.
But yet everybody jumps on, especially black women, jump on it and make it seem like, and this is my opinion, to me, it was more like a question statement.
Yeah, because a lot of people were saying, and I've read a lot of comments about it, and a lot of people were saying she was being disrespectful. She was being racist. Now, most of you guys can see, unless you're blind, I'm a black woman. And so I watched her rant, as some people are calling it, a couple of times. And I couldn't really see where she was being disrespectful. I saw that she was legitimately frustrated.
She was very frustrated.
But she was really wanting to know, is there something I'm doing wrong? Right. What can I do differently? And she did ask, why do black women
have these attitudes?
The ones that she comes across have bad attitudes. And then she was saying, too, that they refer to me as no ma'am.
Right.
And a lot of people was like, well, isn't that a form of respect to say no ma'am?
It is, but in the military, no ma'am is reserved for the officer women.
Got it.
So when you're an enlisted sergeant, it's really disrespectful.
Right.
When you're not addressing them by their rank.
Yeah,
if you're going to address them at all.
I saw a lot of other people who are in the military said that it actually is a form of disrespect. Right. But if you're taking it a little bit, to the hood per se, on the ground level, maybe she meant that, because we've heard this before.
No ma'am, right.
No ma'am.
No ma'am, yeah.
No ma'am. Basically, I ain't doing it. No ma'am.
Right. And, and like I said, and it also depends on what region you're from. Right. Okay, it's obvious this lady's Asian, and she was, she came out of Texas.
I couldn't really tell, because some people were saying that she looked like she had some.
Well, yeah, she looked like she had. I mean, I'm very sure she's a military kid that was mixed out because she's in Texas.
Okay.
When you see a bunch of, and I don't want to say this, but it's like being in Alaska. When you see a bunch of black folks in Alaska and North Dakota and stuff, they're mostly there in the military. Right. They're mostly there because they're in the military. Yeah. But, so, you could tell she's, very frustrated in the video. And, what are your, just if you agree with it or what you don't agree with it, it's funny how people who weren't in the military say, oh, that's right. She can't be doing it. There's a difference. I mean, a lot of us military people, again, it's about good order and discipline.
Right.
However, how she could have basically expressed herself a little bit, I think, I can't control a person's attitude in the military, but I can control your behavior.
Right.
And so what she should have done is start documenting these attitudes and what was going on, because that will clearly control their conduct.
Okay, so I agree with that, even though I've never been in the military, because I've seen people say that they should have corrected her behavior or
their behaviors,
right, opposed to getting frustrated. Right. And some people also question her ability to lead if she was getting frustrated to that degree.
Well, she was only a tech sergeant.
Okay, so. But this is where the rubber meets the road for me. To deny that black women have a reputation. Let's just even say that we have a reputation.
Wait. Be careful now.
Well,
be careful now.
Listen, I'm asking questions. Okay.
All right. It's a question. Okay.
Don't you think to deny that black women have a bad reputation for having a bad attitude, and as I say, a sassy mouth?
I'm getting out of here.
Listen,
the comments of her is her and hers alone.
I'm asking questions. Okay. I'm just asking questions.
Because I don't want to get my ass whooped.
So you're just going to leave me out here and just sit
Yes.
I could fight, okay? I think it's a little silly to deny that that's an issue with black women, or at least we have the reputation.
Reputation, right? I mean, and here's another group of people saying it.
And so then I guess to me the better question is, how did we get that reputation?
Okay.
Did it just fall out of the sky? Did somebody just make it up? And listen, I'm not saying this is true for all black women, because I personally don't hang around black women who behave that way.
Okay.
I have seen black women behave that way. But so, and I also know black women who don't behave that way.
Okay.
Me being one of them. I'm not one to, get an attitude with you or talk all crazy and stuff. You ask me, what time is it? Why? Why you want to know what time it is?
But
don't you gotta watch?
Wait, how many times, when we first started this show and we were getting our clickbait and stuff and everything built up, how many times that I would tell you, you'd be at the airport and I'd be like going on my trips, and it'd be 9 a.m. and you'll see these young black women with their fists balled. 9 a.m, they just got there.
Well, a friend of mine, who shall remain nameless, he says that a white guy came up to him and asked him, why are black women so angry? And he was telling him, in his experience with black women, they just seem so angry. He says that, did something happen to them? What's going on to where there's so much anger in how they present themselves? Now, I'm not sure if he said all black women, but in his experience, he was asking the question, why is that the case? And
I'm going to say this. People have to stop being stupid, number one. When somebody makes when somebody makes a statement, they are not saying all, because they haven't met everybody.
Right. You can't put absolute.
Yeah, so stop being absolute about everything. Right. But I'm going to tell you, in my experience, black women have attitudes.
Right. And I think that's where the issue is.
Okay.
In your experience and my experience, and I took a little small poll yesterday.
Okay.
And asked people, out of your experience, out of 10 black women, how many of those in a public sector that you've come across has had a bad attitude or something smart to say while they were helping you? Most people said 7 out of 10.
Exactly.
I would venture to say it's probably 6 or 7 out of 10 in my experience.
Recently, I was down in New Orleans, sick as a dog, and I know my mom is probably watching this show, but we went through a Popeyes chicken line.
Stop.
Okay. And no, seriously. Or no, it was McDonald's or one of those ones.
That sounds like the start of a joke.
Yeah,
you guys walk into a bar.
Right.
2 black people walk into Popeyes.
But seriously, true story here. We walked through McDonald's to get some coffee or something, and the attitude, and I'm thinking, what's wrong with that girl? My mom was like, that's the New Orleans niggas that came from New Orleans, right?
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I'm not from there. My mom, so I'm like, well, what do you mean? And she's like, it's a different breed of people. These people aren't from Slidell. They're from New Orleans. So they have a different way of dealing with you. It's like, here's your shit. Go. Boom. No customer service, no experience, But like I said, recently, that's what I experienced with my mother. Down there, she even says there's an attitude problem.
Right, and that's why I said, you know what, I'm done arguing with people.
Are you arguing? Are you defending?
No, I'm not even, because I don't like to argue. So I don't do those type of things. But I'm just done having a conversation with people who fail to acknowledge there's a problem.
Right.
Now, of course, as we said over and over again, it's not all black women.
Not all.
Just like it's not all dogs or Mexicans or cats or the horses. It's not all.
We're talking about that group.
But we're talking about, and I want to just really address the reputation that we have. Okay. Because, like you said, you have bad experiences. In all fairness, I've had bad experiences with black men too. But I must say that I can't, in my recent memory, recall having a bad public customer service experience with a black man. I'm not saying I never have. I just can't recall.
You want to know why?
To my recent memory, I can't recall.
You want to know why?
Why is that?
Because we could work at McDonald's and we could try to hit on you because you look cute and everything. But y'all won't give us the name or number because we work at McDonald's. But if you work at McDonald's.
I would say that, just in my experience, I'm not saying it's true for everybody.
Sure.
But the black men that I have dealt with in the public sector have been very nice, whether I've called Verizon or whether I was, at Walmart, Best Buy, wherever. I've had nice experience. I mean, very helpful. The other day I was at the health food store.
Okay.
A brother, I needed to ask him some questions. I was looking for some beets. And so
I like Beats, by the way. Beats juice.
And he took me all around, and he was very nice. Oh, so
Let me get
you
your
like
number.
Beats?
Let me get your number.
You like? No, he didn't, Al.
Well, no. Look, you know what, Al? I know you're listening to this show and you love your woman and everything like that. Let me tell you something. If other men ain't looking at your woman, you shouldn't be with her. You shouldn't be with her. So, I mean, because if they not looking, then what's the point? So,
right.
Yeah,
but we digress. So he was very helpful and cordial and just amiable. He showed me around. Oh, we got this and we got that. Is there anything else I can help you with? Are you sure?
Right.
Okay, if you need anything else, I'm just right over here on the next aisle. I mean, it was just like...
Here's my number. Here's my cell number.
I don't think...
Yeah, I'll be right over here. Call me if you need anything.
But he was very nice. One of the last times that I had an experience with a black woman in the public sector, I went to pay my father's gas bill.
Yeah.
This lady, she sat there. First of all, I walk up to the window. She didn't say, hi, how can I help you? Listen, I ain't even saying you got to be singing it when you talk. Just, how can I help you? Something.
Yeah. Can you do your basic customer service training?
I walk up to the window and I said, hi, how are you? Because I was like, damn, since you're not going to acknowledge me, how are you? I'm fine.
It's over there.
I'm fine. I said, okay, well, I'm here to pay my father's
okay,
gas
pay it
bill.
then.
Well, we don't take credit cards, or we don't take debit cards. No, I said, sure, we don't take credit cards. You don't take debit cards either? No. I said, well, what? Okay, so you just take cash. Because she didn't even say we just take cash. I said, okay, because I wasn't from around the area.
Yeah.
Is there somewhere I can get some cash? I don't know. There's, because I'm
over there.
No, she said, I'm not from around here either. I don't know. My daughter was standing there with me.
Did Deanna put her hand through the glass and
No, we were
drag her
just
through?
looking at each other, and there was a gentleman who happened to be black behind us as well, and he shook his head. Now, I'm coming in there to give you your employer who writes you a check some money, but you didn't want to do the basic jobs. And not only did you not want to do the basic jobs, you had an attitude like you're bothering me.
Yeah.
Really? So if I was to call your boss and say, I'm coming to pay my bill, but yet your customer service rep has a really sour disposition, then I'd be wrong because I'd be trying to get you in trouble.
Right. So there it is. I mean, and that's not a new narrative I've heard. Like I said, I could sit in the airport and you can see the black women coming in there. We're not talking about passengers. We're talking about airport workers. Their fists are balled, or like this, 7 in the morning. Hey, good morning. How are you doing? What, the white lady? Becky? Hi. Sister, look. Just walk right past you.
And I'm not saying either that I've never had a bad experience with white women, Mexican women, and all that stuff. Personally speaking, I can't recall recently that I have.
And on a regular type basis.
Regular basis. I mean, like I said, whether I'm calling Verizon, whatever it is, if I get a black woman,
and you can tell if it's a black woman.
A lot of the black women that I have spoken to in the customer service, for the most part, they were cordial and nice, but the good majority of them,
right?
You might as well have called Hitler.
Yeah, when I call for cable, if I have to call, and I hate doing it. Yeah, this is Shamika. How can I help you? Well, Shamika, my cable didn't work last night. Is there an outage going on? I don't know. Well, can I get a credit for that? Well, I'm not sure. I don't think we can give a credit for that. Well, ma'am, my cable was not provided last night. Could you help me? Sir, I just told you. The cake...
You get on her damn nerves.
Yeah, I just told you. There's nothing we can do. Can I speak to a supervisor? Oh, you want to speak to my supervisor, huh?
Wait. They gonna tell you the same thing I'm telling you.
Yeah, exactly. What you need my supervisor for?
Man. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten that. Why? They gonna tell you the same thing I'm telling you. They're not gonna change what I'm saying.
Thus, we have a problem in our community. And, just give us your thoughts and your comments on regards to that tech sergeant. Obviously, she's a tech sergeant. She's going up into the higher ranks. Obviously, she maybe need remedial training in how to supervise and how to get the best out of her subordinates. But to me, she asked a question statement, and it's obviously she was very frustrated because she did not know how to lead.
And I think the issue, too, is nowadays people put everything on social media. Here she was, thought she was doing it
in a closed group.
Right, in a private group amongst her peers, and then somebody dined her out.
Right.
You know, and now she's potentially in trouble, going to lose her spot or whatever it is they're going to do.
And you bring up a good point. If I was in the military right now, I wouldn't even be doing the show.
Right.
I would wait till, like I said, I wait till I got out. Now I can say what the fuck I want. Fuck you, fuck you.
And that's the thing. People don't realize you can't just do, and somebody's going to hold you accountable. Mm-hmm. You know, like the stuff we do. Right. Not everybody likes what we do. We'll get comments, people saying this, that, and the other. But at the same time, we're going to do what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be able to please everybody, but there's going to always be somebody that has a problem with what it is you do. And so if you are in a situation like her in the military, you probably want to wait till you get out. Or maybe just...
or talk to your other NCOs and ask for advice.
What can I do?
A good example with me being an NCO, then when I became an officer, in Alaska, there wasn't a lot of... in a flying squad, there's not a lot of black players. So in a squadron of 100 people, there was 3 blacks. I was one of the 3. So we didn't really deal with a lot of... When I was an enlisted person as a mechanic, Negroes all over the place, Mexicans and like that. So... in a flying squad, there's not a lot. Most flying squadrons are 98.6% white Caucasian. Okay? That's just a fact.
Right.
So in Alaska, small group, Air National Guard, what they would do, they would, some people would send their colored troops. Can I say?
Colored troops?
Well, no, what I mean by colored troops, meaning,
be a Soldier Story.
Yeah. Not just black.
You don't want to do.
Yeah. Not just black, but the Hispanic, people of so, troops of color to me because I could relate to them a little bit better. But what they didn't understand is when you're in the military and you're in trouble, and the old man or the boss, he wants a predetermined outcome. That outcome's going to happen. So it isn't like I had any control of what was going to happen. So when you look at the military JAG, like when you see that movie JAG. Military courts are nothing like civilian courts.
Right.
Because certain things aren't allowed, and it's just the way it is. Do you know that the JAG office has almost a 99.6% conviction rate?
Really?
Yeah. They almost never lose because the outcome has already been determined. So if
you do something, you just like, okay.
Yeah.
How much time am I getting? I don't even want to fight this.
We have this thing called Article 15s. In the Navy, it's called Captain's Mass. And that's where this one, your commander, whoever it is, he determines what's going to happen to you.
Okay, but let me ask you this, because in her situation, she's obviously a boss to some degree in the military.
She's a supervisor.
So let's say you were her boss.
Yes.
And she repeatedly comes to you.
Yes.
Saying, I'm having this problem with this, what do you call them?
Airman,
or whatever. I'm having problems with this one. The next week, okay, I'm having a problem with that one. What are you going to think?
Okay, as a commander or
or better yet, wouldn't you say... That's why you have the job to handle.
Right,
this.
Exactly. And then if she keeps coming to me with that, number one, I would tell her what she needs to do, start documentation, so that we can start processing their black asses out of here.
Well, damn.
All right. So that's how I did.
You said that like you had some issues before.
Yeah. Let's start. Well,
I jogged some memories.
Well, yeah, you did. Well, I told you about that there was a young brother. He was ordered to pay by the state of Mississippi $75 a month and was not doing it.
Stop it.
And I made sure there was documentation to process his black ass out of the military because that was unreasonable and there was no excuse for that. But anyway, but for her, what I would have said, start the documentation, and then I would have gone to her supervisor or her first sergeant.
Right.
And told them that we might need to get her some leadership skills and, some way to, to better her supervisory skills.
Right.
Because, you got to motivate. And the Air Force is different than the other branches. The Army and the Marines, I have the stripe, even though I'm a cook and you're a special forces guy, I got the stripes. Right. If I say take that hill, you're going to take that hill, no questions asked.
Right.
Air Force is a little bit different because we're a support organization. So if I'm a load master and you're a first sergeant, you have no aviation experience, but you just came in from the services squadron, so you were giving towels out at the gym, and you trying to tell me my job? No, fuck you. This is my job.
Right.
You don't tell me my job. Look, I don't tell you your job. So, there's a little difference in how you do it. But in leadership, you should know how to motivate and leader and supervise.
Okay, but let me ask you this.
Okay.
And I'll ask this question and I'll tell you why I'm asking it. Is it possible that even though you're a leader, some people you just can't lead.
Yes.
Because when I was volunteering at the school and stuff, one of the reasons that I tapped out, I'm just keeping it real, is because I couldn't deal with the disrespect and just But that's I don't care how anybody takes this. Mm-hmm. It mostly came from our little black girls. Mm-hmm. Now they little to me, they were middle school,
right?
But it mostly came from them. And then you know what? The supervisor, who was a Mexican chick, she asked me. She says,
"Could you please stay?"
No, she says, "I'm not trying to be racist." People when they really want to say something about black people, they say, "I'm not trying to be racist or anything." She says, "But why is it that I have same thing? Mm-hmm. I have so many problems with the black girls." She said, "It's not really the black boys,
right?
It's the black girls.
They
tell
cute,
me off.
And
they know what they're not going to do.
You ain't gonna tell me."
They was doing all of that. Last day I was there, a girl got suspended, or she got kicked out of the program because another little black boy said something to her. Mm. Nothing major. Do you know she took off in a windmill on him? Was all on his head. Mm-hmm. Just effing him up. Right. And the supervisor was like, "Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Why? What would cause her to do something like that?" And I was just like, but in my head, I was like, "I'm out of here."
Yeah,
I'm out of here.
Well, see, knowing when to tap. That's a form of leadership, because you're getting to a point to where if you can't motivate somebody, and that's a form of leadership. When you're in above your head, that is a prime example of a leader, because you say, "I've had enough. I'm done." Don't sit there and become the problem.
Right, because that's what I'm saying. Some people you just can't lead.
You just can't lead them.
There's some people. Listen to Marcus Garvey. Mm-hmm. He tried to lead black people. He had 3 million worldwide. This is the early 1900s.
Left 56 million of us right behind. We're still here.
The early 1900s, before there was phones,
right?
Social media, television, all of that. He got collectively 3 million people. But there was always somebody.
Right.
He couldn't lead.
Yes.
Turned him in.
But in the military.
For something small, stupid.
Yeah. But in the military also, too, there are some people that break through the cracks, and they aren't trained properly. So sometimes you might have to do remedial training on those people. And some people you just say, like Evan Moron here in Moreno Valley, you just get rid of them altogether.
Right.
Because they are not compatible to military life. And then that's when the documentation comes in. And that's why that supervisor should have at least said, "I told Airman so-and-so on this day, blah, blah, blah," and her response was, her response was. When I have the documentation as an officer or, the higher up, it's a cut and dry case.
So let me ask you this, too. Do you think it's as hard, especially for somebody like her, to lead, let's say, black women, because... Or maybe she gives them a little bit more leeway because she's afraid that maybe somebody's going to invoke racism or whatever the case is, because, she said it to me this way and said it to me that way.
See, a big problem is there's a difference between joining the military and being born in the military. Mm-hmm. I was born into the military. Mm-hmm. So with my parents, there was no, I want to go to, Ross, and I want this clothes and I want that clothes. I wasn't given choices. Right. It's either this, that, the little choices I was given, that was it.
These supermarket shoes or these
supermarket. I knew that what I did on an everyday basis as a child affected my parents.
Right.
Whereas you growing up, you can go out there and act holy hell. It's not going to affect your parents' job, because they're not in that circle. So it's a little bit different. So here's a young, troop. She's coming in there, and, she's of that new caliber, these kids where they think everything's good. I don't want to offend you. The military is not about offense. The military is about organization.
Right.
I don't give a damn if you're black, white, Asian, whatever. You are an airman. And that's how you should look at it.
But look at all the heat she's taking.
Yeah.
Just because she to me,
that's because she asked the question. But that's because people use the military as a social experiment. The military does not have time to deal with homosexuals, to deal with transgenders. That is not the place to deal with that stuff. But our politicians who've never served, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but a lot of people that are in the military know what I'm talking about. Right. We do not have time to be a social experiment. Mm-hmm. Our job is to do this, do our job, and get it done. We don't need the distractions. So if I'm not against homosexuals. We've always had homosexuals in the military. I don't care.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah, no. Even if you don't like that policy, I don't care what the policy is. Right. See, that's what I'm saying. That's when all that stuff started creeping in.
Right.
I do not care what you do behind closed doors in your personal life. All I care about is, here's our mission, let's get it done. I don't want to hear about it.
Right.
Period. We are not a social
Well,
experiment,
you know,
and that's the problem.
I guess I'm more like the military because that's how I feel about people just as a civilian.
Right.
I don't care
Keep it to
who
yourself.
you do. I don't care
Right.
what you do, as long as it doesn't affect me in a negative way. I mean, I really don't care.
Right. You know, keep it to yourself. I'm not out there going to be Agent 99 snitching on you because I saw you walk into a gay bar, because what am I doing by the gay bar?
You better ask somebody.
Exactly.
What were you doing over there?
So, and that's our problem. We're so busy worried about what our neighbor's doing. We're not worried about her. And so she's in the military, not exercising her rank and her position and trying not to offend nobody. You're not there to be everybody's friend. You're there to do your job and to make sure that they're doing their job.
Right.
So obviously she's intimidated by her troops, which she should not be. And that's why, remember you asked me earlier?
But hold on.
Go ahead.
You know we can be very intimidating.
And that's fine.
Because I'll tell you a story. I got a lot of them for you guys. I was at Winco. The very first time I went to Winco.
The best chicken in the world.
Shout out to Winco. Very first time I was at the grocery store. So, you know, I'm, cruising along with my basket in the produce section and all this other stuff. And out of nowhere, I see you looking at that bitch.
Yeah.
I kid you not. I see you looking at that bitch.
Yeah, that happens on Winco right after the first of every month. So between the 1st and the 6th, you can see that incident happening every month.
And so, like everybody else, I was shocked, like, what's going on here? So it's this black woman. Apparently, she saw her man looking at some white girl. Mm-hmm. And so he was like, no, baby, no. Yes, it is. I seen you looking at that white bitch. Mm-hmm. You was. And he was trying to, calm her down.
Right.
And so
she's
like, yeah, that's why because you did cheat on me with a white bitch. But I mean, this went on for like 3 minutes and everybody's just horrified. Mm-hmm. Horrified. And I'm like, so that was intimidating to me. Yeah. That was intimidating.
Okay.
What if I wanted to say, ma'am?
See, in the military, you shouldn't be in the military if you get intimidated easy, because we are supposed to be what? War fighters.
Okay, but the point that I'm making is,
I know what you're saying. We are intimidating.
Sometimes we can be intimidating.
Right.
I could.
But here's how you deal with that
here's
how you deal with that as supervisor. Remember earlier in this program, I said process their black ass out. Right? See how quick that was? I don't have to put up with this. You're out. Simple as that. Cut and dry. Go back to Tennessee, wherever you're from, and good luck to you.
Right. Good luck. But
do you see what I'm saying? Do you see how you deal with it? This is how it is. These are the rules. You know that. But,
we're very intimidating.
But that's how you deal with the intimidation.
Yeah. Just don't.
You don't.
I'm not going to deal with it.
Exactly. Right. Boom. You're out. You can't conform. You're out.
But then she gets a reputation. I'm going to play devil's advocate now. Then she gets a reputation of having a low tolerance for black women. If you look at such and such, record, at all the last 10 black women, or women that she put out of the military or troops, whatever you call it, were black women. So I think she's biased against black women.
So what? She's in the military. So what? So what? If you have a problem, there's a thing in the military called the chain of command. Go to the chain of command. They will investigate. And then guess what? 9 times out of 10, they're going to find out you're wrong. An airman, an E3, an E2 is not going to control the chain of command. It's as simple as that.
Right. Well, I mean,
it's cut and dry. Like I said, we are not a social experiment. And those of us that are old school, like I said, when I was a troop, you did it because that sergeant said so. If that sergeant told you to do something, it's not on me. It's on him or her.
Right.
That's it. I don't question it. Unless it has to do with my job, I'm going to question that. But the military is not a social experiment. And that's the problem. You have these new generation kids coming in there. A couple of months ago, there was a girl that a black girl that was saying something about she should. It was a couple of months ago. You have ignorant Negroes that'll come in there, and about I need to be by a city because I was raised in a city and I'm out here in North Dakota.
Oh, so she calling the shots.
Well, yeah, she's like I should be stationed here because I don't know anything about the country. I don't.
So you'll learn.
Yeah, why the fuck did you join the military? Like I said, you don't have to. So you give all that stuff up. We are not a social experiment, and that's one of the problems I had. And that's like I said, as a good troop, instead of being a problem, which I would have become,
right?
I decided to leave.
Right.
My time is over. It's time to go. And those of my fellow military people that are my age that are still in there, I would strongly recommend you yourself.
Get out.
Get out while you can, because you make one bad mistake or everybody wants to be political. 20-something years of your service has now gone down the drain.
Right.
So,
and that's too bad. Yeah. That's really too bad that's the way things have gotten. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I just think for me, it wasn't. I didn't see her being disrespectful. Yeah. I think she asked a valid question. Like I said, I'm a black woman, and 7 out of 10 experiences that I've had, if I had to put a number to it with black women, has not been good. Right. Has not been favorable. I mean, I should write a book, but I don't want to do that because that would be kind of negative to say. All the experiences I've had would, because all fairness, maybe somebody could say they've had a bad experience with me. Well, I doubt it, but
I mean, people tell me to go on like social sites and stuff. I go on the social sites and I read the profiles, right?
Right.
And that's why I haven't bought into the social sites.
As far as dating?
Yeah, it's dating. Okay. You read the social sites and the profiles are angry. I want a man that's like this and he better have money, whatever. And then you look at where she works, warehouse worker. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying you got to be perfect, but I'm saying even in the profiles, it comes off angry. How do you attract somebody and you're saying, I want this. You don't even know me yet.
Well, she putting you on notice. It's
right,
but you have to bring to the table.
But guess what? And that woman's been on that profile for how many years now?
Her grandkids are now on the site with her.
Or here you are, you want this, guy, whatever the deal is, and you're looking like a McDonaldland character. Grimace, the purple guy. The guy, I'm telling you, there is something wrong with, seriously, that stereotype. I'm not saying it's a true stereotype, but it is a true stereotype. Not all black women, but there is something going on with our black women. And why are they angry? Okay, and I'm going to give you even a better example, a personal example. I have a niece, my oldest niece, one of the worst attitudes of a young
Describe
woman
it.
I've ever seen.
That way, because that's another thing, too. A lot of times people say, you have a bad attitude. Well, what does that mean exactly?
Okay, she has a bad attitude. What I mean is she feels that everything should go her way. Mm-hmm. Entitlement. Mm-hmm. She has a baby with a loser that has nothing his own family didn't want. And so here's what I think as an uncle. You're mad at the world because this guy isn't what you thought he said he was going to be.
Right.
And everybody told you he wasn't going to be. So now you look like a damn fool.
Right.
You're doing everything by yourself. And this is a story of a lot of young girls. Mm-hmm. He's in and out of jail or whatever your situation is. But you made that decision.
Nobody twisted their arm?
Right. No, nobody told you.
Forced upon them?
Right. Why didn't you ask enough questions? If he says he works over here, why didn't you go and check?
Right.
Your uncle wrote the the book of game.
Who's read the book of Ike?
Yes, I read the book of Ike. I told you what was going to happen, what to look for.
Right.
Ask questions. You can never ask enough questions. Like that great President Ronald Reagan once said, I trust you. I just want to verify. Who would be against that?
I agree with his statement, but I don't like.
I don't like Reagan. He was the Antichrist. Ronald Wilson Reagan, 666.
Right.
But anyway, but that's what I think a lot of the problems are with our young women. They make these bad mistakes, and then they're angry about it, and they take it out on
somebody has to take the blame for the decisions they made.
And then the kids suffer in it, and and then they're going through the drama with the father. It makes them more angry, and now they're grown, and people don't want to do for them because you're grown. They're just angry all the time. And I mean, just a bad, she's a sweet girl, but very bad attitude and an entitlement attitude. And I see that in a lot of young women.
And God rest my mama's soul. I remember when I had my daughter, mm-hmm. When I had my daughter, I was 21. Mm-hmm. And, I wasn't really out there like that. And, so me and her father.
They have a plaque of D and at 29 Palms. right on the gate. Yes.
Undefeated to this day.
Yes.
Since 1990.
That's it.
I'm lying. But anyway, so when I had my daughter, me and her father, we shortly after I had her, we started having problems and stopped
mm-hmm.
getting along and all of that other stuff. But I had the type of mom that was like, well, that was a situation you created.
Right.
I'm not going to be one of those mamas talking about, that's my baby. That's my
give me my baby. Mm-hmm.
She's like, I will help you as much as I can, but you going to raise this baby.
Mm-hmm.
And...
No wonder I stopped seeing you at the Metro.
Oh, yeah. Well, you have to shut it down.
Okay.
They have to shut it down. You can't take a baby on the hip at the Metro. Right. That's what my mom wasn't going to do. She was not going to be watching my child while I'm out there shaking my butt, potentially bringing home baby number 2 and then baby number 3 with, some other
but can I say this? At least you were smart and went for the guy that had benefits.
Right, because, my daughter benefited from now. But, but I don't know. It's just, I wasn't I didn't have enough time to be angry about it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because she pretty much told me that was a decision you made. If it works out with him or not, this is still your child. Right. You got to raise her and do the best that you can. And so, like I said, I didn't have time to be angry, but I didn't have the type of mind that was like, yeah, that nigga, he ain't no good. Right. He just he did this to you. And I was just like, you did grown people stuff.
Yeah, I see my niece, she's not going to school now. I mean, even when people are advising her, what to do, take one class, 2 classes, because after a couple of years, you're going to graduate. No!
Wow.
No! Just mad at the world.
Does your niece watch this?
No.
Because I was going to give her a little word of advice.
No, but I will tell her to watch it, and she'll probably watch it.
We'll say her name is Bethany for the last. I hope I didn't guess it right.
No.
Bethany. Right. I would just say this.
Just address her, Miss Malloy.
Miss Malloy. I was once in your shoes. Well, not maybe quite that way, but life doesn't get better by sitting around waiting for somebody to save you. The baby daddy probably would never act right. But that still doesn't absolve your responsibilities as a mother. You owe it to that child to become the best you so you can help that child become the best he or she. Mm-hmm. It's your duty to do that. No longer can you hold on to excuses about this person didn't do this, that person didn't do that, well, it's because of this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 that I'm where I'm at.
Right.
Nobody's going to save you but you.
Right.
And so if you want a better life, stop waiting for somebody else to give it to you. Go take what you deserve.
Right. Exactly. And, like I said, I love her to death. She's my niece and everything like that. But, she's 25 years old. You're grown at this point. You've asked me for help. I've given you the best advice I can give you. And yet you still won't take it.
Well, I mean, some people's rock bottoms are not the same as other people's. And so I don't know, but some people, I hate to say it, and I'm not, speaking that onto your niece's life. Some people never wake up. Some people will have 20, 30, 40 years of the same.
Yeah, very, very true. And I'm glad that you say that because, like I said, and the reason why I use my own personal family member in this is because I don't want people out there to say, oh, he's just talking about people and da-da-da-da-da.
Just making up stuff.
Yeah, no. I mean, this is why I get frustrated in some of the things that I'm saying because some of the messages I'm putting out there is for my own family members.
Well, yeah, and I'm quite sure I was speaking to one of my family members.
Exactly. So nobody's absolved of living this perfect life.
And then just to the rest of the black women, because I'm a black woman and I'm speaking to you. If you feel angry because of something that's going on in your life, don't be angry. It's a waste of time, emotion, just everything. It's a waste. Turn that into something positive. That's what I did, and I'm not trying to say I was all that. But once me and my daughter's father ended our relationship, my daughter was 1. So, I tell this story sometimes, but a lot of people don't know he left. I came home, and everything was taken out of the house. And he told me, one of his last things was go home and live with your mama. Go back home to your mama.
I'm done with you.
Now, mind you, he left me and his daughter with nothing.
Right.
I went and got 3 jobs. And the rest is history. I have 2 degrees sitting right here.
Right. Rest is history. You didn't wait on anybody.
I did not. And I didn't go back home to my mama either.
Right. Exactly. But you did what you had to do.
I had to save me.
Right. And I'm not saying, you had to do this, but everybody needs help. My mom needed help after my father died. But she didn't make it a lifestyle. She did what she had to do. Got a job, and the rest they say is history.
You know what? I got on the system for like 6 months.
My mom, 6 months.
I couldn't do it.
Right.
I was like, I can't do it. Y'all want to know all of that? Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
But the thing is, we need a safety net in the social. It should not be a lifestyle. Yeah. And that's the good point of what we're saying. So, again, that sergeant, I hope somebody gives her some remedial training on how to supervise. Do I believe that there's an attitude problem with our black women? Yes, I've experienced it within my own family. Absolutely. We tried to do a family tree real quick.
Oh, God.
Asked my cousins, well, who's that baby dad? You don't need to know that! Well, Howie, I can't tell you how many double cousins I have. I'm telling you, I have a lot of double cousins. But, again...
You don't need to know
You don't need to know that!
Mind your business!
Yeah! And so be saying, right? So be saying the family tree cannot be complete. Okay, so
and I would just like to say this before we leave: I will ride for black women.
Yes,
but
I will.
I will not lie for black women.
Thank you very much. You guys stay tuned. We're going to be back in the second hour. Dee has a couple of great things she wants to put up, and we're going to put it up in just a second. You guys stand by.